Hello everyone, I'm back once again to give you another fun update. Alright, so I know I have actually already done this one, but what I'm going to be doing today is DNS. Woo! DNS, oh, I hit control, not shift. Alright, DNS. So, I'm pretty sure I actually briefly covered that topic a little bit, but I'm gonna do it again. Alright, so what is DNS? DNS stands for Domain Name Service, or something of the sorts. Doesn't really matter what it stands for. But what it is you are going to type www.google.com into your search bar up here. Alright, so I go up here, google.com. Alright, so it says google.com. But wait, if I go over here, it doesn't say google.com, but it's the same exact thing except not my email in there. Oh boy. My email that I never use. It's because the only reason why is because Google Chrome keeps you logged in, but it's only for that specific website. So it says, www.google.com. You have a cookie that logs you in and keeps you logged in there. So technically that cookie doesn't apply to the IP address since it could change, but the domain never changes. Alright, anyways, other than that side note, so you type that in google.com. So how does that work? Well, sadly I don't think I can try to make this picture bigger. Alright, I found this really good picture that explains it. It's like, alright, I need to go to, let's just use google.com. I need to go to google.com. So your request goes out to domain server or a DNS server. So it's like the domain name blah 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 is not in my database catch. I'll try another one. Usually it is, because especially for Google, everyone that's I believe like the most visited site in the world, or at least one of them. So of course it'll be catched on every single DNS server. So it goes over here. It's like, hey, do you have this? Oh look, yes I do, and here's the IP address for it. And then it goes back, it goes to there, and bam, you go to the website. It directs you to the IP address. Now, you can't really just find an IP address, especially of big sites, since they often change, or they have different ones, or it's hard, or you're not really supposed to find out necessarily, because that's how you can get attacks and whatnot if you have your IP out there. But what you can just do is you can go, just open up command, do ping www.google.com, and then it'll ping it. If it receives a ping back, then it'll say reply from blank with 32 bytes. Usually is what it sends out unless otherwise specified. So you can do this to pretty much any. So you can, it says pinging blah 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 Yahoo. So let's try connecting into that. Let's see if we get yahoo.com. Yahoo page request was not found. I guess they're not as cool and they don't allow it. So it doesn't, if you see it's DNS any real, just a whole bunch of stuff that really doesn't matter. So it says, pinging google.com. Well, when you search up on the DNS server, yahoo.com, it returns back with that. So they're not as cool. But that, and then also one more picture. So it's like, where is Wikipedia? It tries this, the root name server. Oh, sorry, try this IP address. Then it goes to the .org name server. It says, try this IP address. And then it goes to the wikipedia.org name server, and it's like, it's at blank. Luckily, you never have to memorize any IP addresses, because most people aren't good at memorize straight up numbers like that. Unless if it's 127.0.0.1, which, oh, Google Chrome cannot connect. Oh no, that's my own IP address, my local IP address. So hopefully that explained what DNS is and actual cyber patriot. Really, unless you're going to the finals, they're probably definitely not going to do a man in the middle attack. So that is where, let's see, that is where your computer here, that's your computer, C for computer. So your computer goes out to DNS server, and then it tries, it's like, hey, I want to connect to Google, but this DNS server is infected. Let's see if I can draw. My mouse is really sensitive. An evil face with a couple horns. Alright, so this is evil. This DNS server is infected. So it'll give you the wrong IP address. It'll be like, oh, google.com? Alright. So let's do Google. And alright, the B is for bad, evil website. So google.com is right here at some other IP address. Let's see, it's at 127 or whatever. Blah, 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 blah. So it's at 127, blah, 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 blah. Alright. But since this is infected, it actually directs you to this website. It's not for every website. It's because you'll automatically know if you're like google.com and it takes you to some like weird Arabic form of like cyber terrorism or something weird like that, which there are them out there. So usually it's the same exact replica as a website, except they either uploaded some script or they have some other bad links or something else like that. So and this is, say, maybe 133, just picked a number out, blah 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 blah. So it could direct you. That's more or less what a man in the middle attack is. Also, they can, or that's DNS. That's not man in the middle. My bad. That's DNS something. That's an infected DNS server. Man in the middle attack is, well, they can essentially do that if they really wanted to, I guess. But it's where they kind of read and intercept your packets and your mail, and they can find out passwords, and neither one of them is really good, and you should strive not to have them. Any of them happen to you. Oh, there we go. Bigger brush. So they can read your packets and whatnot. So hopefully that explained what DNS was, and a little bit more about some evil stuff that they might do during Cyber Patriot, but usually just don't, if you see under services what DNS is, don't cancel it, because then you really can't access the internet. Like, if you disable the right DNS one, then you're pretty much screwed and can't access the internet. So hopefully that was I hope you guys out. So I will see you later in the next video.